We all know how powerful of a drug nostalgia is, and it may not course through the veins any harder than it does for Nintendo fans. Today, we're going to try making sense of why some of the most expensive GameCube games are cheaper on a console from the same generation that performs typically better. What are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking KBS Maple Mackinac Fudge Edition. This is an Imperial Stout with Mackinac Fudge coffee, maple syrup, and chocolate, aged in oak bourbon barrels.
Wow, and for some reason I'm thinking about Mike and Ike's, but you know the drill. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss one of our bi-weekly uploads. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's try making sense of some of these GameCube prices and why someone would pay that on the GameCube if it performs better on another console from the same generation.
Hey, Retro Rivals here. Jen, what's your favorite thing to do?
Boy, do I ever love to grab myself a beer and watch Gaming Off the Grid.
This video by no means is us taking a dump on the Nintendo GameCube because we love the console.
Yes.
I mean, Gen 6 is probably our favorite generation across the board.
It's an amazing generation. I love the GameCube controller. The PS2 is probably my favorite from this generation, but the Xbox is awesome. It's just, I love everything about it.
Yeah,
you know?
and you know, we're kind of guilty of some of the things we're going to talk about in this episode. As we were going through preparing for this, we're like, whoa, kind of caught us off guard. And we buy, we sell, we flip, we do those things, and some of this stuff is so jarring. I think it's universally agreed upon, for the most part, that the Xbox performs best from this generation, and probably the PS2 the worst when you're comparing the big three. I know Dreamcast is considered Gen 6.
Yeah, but we're just talking about Xbox, PS2, and GameCube.
Yeah, and so it's ironic. I mean, that rule of thumb, tell me in the comment section below if you disagree, but 80-90% of the time, Xbox games that are cross-platform games perform best on that console.
Yes.
So this is a story of nostalgia leading the way and trumping one's wallet and their care for their own money. So throughout this episode, we are going to cover 10 games. There's actually some bonus games in here that are way cheaper on the original Xbox than they are on the Nintendo GameCube, and we're going to go in ascending order, so this thing only gets richer as we go through the episode.
And the crazy part is, before we jump in, is most of these games, there's no difference. It's basically the same game.
Yeah.
So there might be minor things here and there, but for the most part, they are the same game. So why pay for this? I don't understand. But let's just jump into the first game. Digimon World 4. This is a hack and slash action RPG that comes in around $52 on the Nintendo GameCube. How much is it on the Xbox? $23.
Yeah.
What?
It's crazy. A 55.99% price swing there. Why would you do this? I mean, I don't think this game really is a game that you would be held back on either end of the fence by performance.
Yeah.
These type of games, I mean, you just want to play the game. It could be because more kids had it, because it's kind of Digimon tends to be for kids, and more kids had the GameCube maybe than the Xbox back in the day.
I don't get it.
It's just crazy. But let's move on to the next one. You guys are getting the gist of how crazy this stuff can get. An amazing game, Gauntlet Dark Legacy. My mind kind of goes to the GameCube when it comes to this game because I played Gauntlet Legends on the N64.
Yeah,
so I'm just kind of that
it's just
way.
Nintendo. But on the GameCube, Gauntlet Dark Legacy is $87.25.
And I would argue it's worth every penny. That game is amazing.
It's an amazing 4-player
But we
adventure.
have it on the Xbox, and it plays amazing as well.
And guess how much it is on the Xbox? Right now, at filming, $37.86.
Yeah, it's
my God.
It's crazy.
That's insane. Almost $100 and then less than $40?
Yeah, it's nuts. 57% gap. And then you get into a game that... is anybody have a hard time finding this? Now, I know it's fun. Great game. This kind of a staple for the Gen 6 sports games, NBA Street Volume 2.
Oh, this game is so much fun. I love the arcade-style basketball. So for the GameCube, this game comes in at $27. So you're like, oh, that's not that bad. I'd pay for that. But on the OG Xbox, it's $11. What?
The game,
it's just like crazy.
This is another game. I think it plays great on all three. I would just go for the cheaper one, but it does play better on the Xbox. It is worth noting This is NBA Street 2. NBA Street 3 has a leg to stand on. We're not going to do a price comparison, but NBA Street 3 on the GameCube has exclusive Nintendo characters. That's not NBA Street 2.
Yes, which makes that one way better, and that's why we like that version a lot better on the GameCube because of that. But for the most part, these games are similar, and in case you guys are wondering, where are you getting your prices? What's going on? So these are from price charting, and these numbers we got them right before we filmed. So they could fluctuate a little bit. It's just trying to show the point that, like, 50% or more price increase on the GameCube. That's insane.
Yeah, and games perform better on the Xbox typically. So
yeah, it's just mind-blowing.
It is.
Now let's move on to a really fun adult game.
Yeah,
super adult game, BMX XXX.
Yeah, this game's just bizarre. Cussing, stupid humor. There's a guy that you meet, I think it's like halfway through the game, that you have to grind so he can fart to like light the spark on fire. He's like, I've been on a diet of cabbage, chili, and coffee for 15 years and I haven't farted ever since. You know, so it's dumb. There's some cruel humor.
I think there's some nudity in it.
Yeah, and for the most part, I think most people I've seen play with a female character who is a little more scantily clad than maybe, you know, most.
That's why it's called XXX. Yeah. But on the GameCube, this game is $47.03. But on the OG Xbox, you can get this game for less than $20. Yeah. $18.86.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, what a good year, too. 1886.
Oh, yeah.
I had a good time.
That was party like a piece.
But yeah, it's just wacky. We're gonna nest together this next series of games just because they're all published by Konami.
Yes.
And they're all really good, and they all kind of tell the same story. We'll go through them pretty quick, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Nightmare. I think 2's called Battle Nexus, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Melee, which kind of has a Smash element.
Smash, there's like a battle royale, but it takes place in the same universe as the other three.
Yeah,
It's just, I love the Turtles games during this era. Something about, like, it's kind of cartoony. It's kind of, it's really cool.
It's like more of a serious art style than what the 90s Turtles were, but they still, you can tell they're the same Turtles. They didn't completely mess it up.
These are really fun games, and we actually have these for the GameCube, but looking at it, it's like, man, what if we sold them and got them for the Xbox?
Yeah.
We could make a pretty penny. So I'm just going to go through them in the order we listed them off, so 1 through 3, and then Melee. So on the GameCube, TMNT 1 on the GameCube is $24.54. On the OG Xbox, it's $11.87. Stupid. TMNT 2 is $30.94. $14.93 on the OG Xbox. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 is $59.81, so it's getting up there. That's a really fun game. It's $26 on the Xbox. And then TMNT Mutant Melee is $39.90 on the GameCube. On the OG Xbox, it's $15.60. Dude, you could get all 4 of these games on the Xbox for the price it would be to get Melee. You know, like, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's hard to make an argument, and again, we're guilty as charged. We have all 3, 1, 2, and 3. We don't have Mutant Melee, but we've got 1, 2, and 3 on the GameCube. I don't know why, seeing this, I'm like, we might need to shuffle the deck here a little bit. But it's pretty wild. A game that's always felt like a GameCube game, but it's on the other consoles from the generation. Dr. Muto, I don't know why I associate it, maybe because of Retro Wolf's GameCube video on it, but I associate it with the GameCube. It's a game by Midway. It's a platformer.
It's a really weird game.
Very weird game. It's $40.36 on the GameCube, and on the Xbox it's $9.79.
That's less than $10. What's crazy is you associate this with the GameCube. I associate Dr. Muto with the PS2 because I had a demo of it growing up for the PS2. So
demo disc, hi.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome, but I could only play the first level. But still, less than $10, guys. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. But the story just goes on and on and on.
It's just ridiculous.
So we just eclipsed with that game 75% gap, and it's just going to continue to rise. We have a game at the end of this that is almost 100% gap. So you're gonna have to stay tuned for that.
It's insane.
And it makes absolutely no sense. But we will move on to Mortal Kombat Deception. Now, Mortal Kombat being on the GameCube in general is just kind of ironic. It is more of a family-friendly console. When I think of this era of Mortal Kombat, my mind goes to PS2.
Yep.
$66 on the GameCube. On the OG Xbox, it's $13.89.
That's so stupid. And the game is basically the same.
Yeah.
I don't understand. This is a really fun game if you're in the Mortal Kombat series. It's just your straightforward Mortal Kombat game. You know?
And, in all fairness, this game and a couple of the others we've mentioned, we have not played on, like Deception, I have on Xbox, so I've never played it on the GameCube. Even if there's subtle differences, how do you justify a 78% price gap?
Yeah.
I mean, the game would have to be able to take you behind the woodshed and do some things to make it worth that difference. I just don't understand
I
it.
don't get it. When we were going through and looking at the numbers, I knew that the GameCube was more expensive, but then I was like, dude, what? It's that much more expensive?
Yeah.
That's insane. And I don't know why. It's just why. I just don't know why.
Dude, are you ready to get freaky?
I'm ready to get freaky, and I'm ready to go in the air with Freaky Flyers. It's the 3D air combat racing game.
Yeah.
It's actually really fun. There's like cartoons in it, which is really weird.
Yeah, I think once you beat the game, you get like a whole like storyboard, like
Which-
long cartoon plays out.
Whatever. But on the GameCube, this game is $52.14. On the OG Xbox, it's $10. What the F?
So published by Midway, right?
Yes.
In both cases, but a different developer on this
Yes, so that is the difference. So it's available on all three consoles, PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. It's all published by Midway, but the GameCube version is developed by someone else. So I don't know if that... I'm pretty sure it's the same game.
Yeah, I mean, we've only played the GameCube one, so I don't know. Hit us up in the comment section below if you're like, oh no, Freaky Flyers all day long on the GameCube, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But
That's just stupid.
That price gap. Do you guys remember slot cars when we were kids? You know the plastic tracks, you put them on there and you have like the little...
And zip, 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 zip.
Well, there's a video game centered around that fun childhood activity,
It wasn't really fun at all.
and it looks exactly like it. It's called Groove Rider. Get it? They ride in the grooves. You get it?
Groove Rider Slot Car
Thunder.
Okay, this game is just if you played with slot cars, you played with them for like 5 minutes. You
Yeah.
played this game for 5
Yeah.
minutes. It's whatever. But we're looking at the prices. We're not talking about
Yeah.
the game. Okay, so Groove Rider Slot Car Thunder is $79 on the GameCube. Oh, how much is it on the Xbox complete in box?
Like $10, $10.90.
What? $80 to 10.
I mean,
And it's not. I wouldn't even spend 10 on it.
I wouldn't either. And you can make the argument, well, nobody probably bought it on the GameCube or in general, so that's why it's kind of rare.
Then why is it only $10 on the Xbox?
Because I'm guessing nobody bought this sumbitch on any console.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's just so weird, guys.
You know who Sylvester Stallone is?
Cliffhanger.
It's time to give you guys a cliffhanger.
I was just about to do it, dude.
Were ya?
Wow, yeah.
Dang it.
We're
Well,
synced.
Yeah, sync.
And synced.
In sync. Maybe bye. We got this beer from Captain Algebra.
Yes.
We got one game left, but let's talk about this KBS Maple Mackinac Fudge. He's been sitting on this for a while and
Yes.
gifted it to us, so thank you so much, Captain.
Maple Maniac Fudge is an imperial stout with Mackinac fudge coffee, maple syrup, and chocolate, aged in oak bourbon barrels by Founders.
Yeah.
So we've had the original KBS. I think we've had a different variant of KBS. It's usually like a wintertime beer.
Yeah.
It's August when we're filming this, so it's very weird to drink a very heavy stout in August. But wow,
11%er.
So this guy's an 11%.
Yeah.
This guy is delicious. What do you think?
Yeah, right away, we had poured the beers and I was kind of wiping the table, getting some dust off, things like that. And as I was doing the nose, it just like engulfed this region. Very chocolatey, almost like a hot chocolate type of smell. So that fudge really comes off on the nose. And then the flavor profile is just bursting with flavors. I know it's a barrel-aged stout from the barrel-aged series, but I would kind of say this is a dessert stout. I'm not getting much burn.
Well, dude, this beer, it has a really good flavor. The nose is incredible.
Yeah.
It's just all these flavors, but then this feels like a lighter beer.
Yeah.
Like there's no like heaviness in the back end, or that's why I was shocked when it was 11%. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Whatever's in here that's smoothing it out, this makes it very dangerous because it's just an easy drinker.
Maybe that maple syrup.
Ooh, I love
And
maple syrup.
syrup on the other end.
Yeah, it's gonna slip right out of me in about 2 hours.
But this beer's really good. It's a variant. Would you rather have the KBS or the original, or would you rather have this?
Man, that's tough.
It's tough, but that's what we do here, dude.
We ask the tough questions.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to ask them, and we're not afraid to answer them. So I'll answer you next time.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I really enjoy this variant, and I really like all the flavors, but I think I would much rather have the original.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. But this is for a variant. It's a good offshoot.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Captain.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah, top shelf beer for sure. Okay. This next game is mind-blowing. This whole episode up to this point, maybe there's been times where you're like, what in the F is going on? Well, there was only one college basketball game released on the Nintendo GameCube,
Yes.
and that was College Basketball 2K3, 2K4. Was it 2K3?
I think it was 2K3. And this was the only installment on the GameCube. The other series were on the other consoles, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's probably why this game is going for so much. But the price it's going for, I'm like, College Basketball 2003? Is it really that good? Not even close. So, you guys want to know how much it is on the GameCube right now? $200.14. Okay.
Sega Sports.
That's insane. Like, $200?
We've seen sports games in the past do some weird things, but I don't know that I can recall one being this weird.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
I mean, the game is available on other consoles.
And you guys want to know how much it is on the OG Xbox? It's the same game.
$4.98.
Less than $5? 200. Less than 5. When I discovered this fact, I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's stupid. That is stupid.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
200 versus 498.
I wouldn't
College Basketball 2K3, Sega Sports. If you see it in the wild,
on the GameCube. Wow, that's a dinger.
if you keep this game in your collection on the GameCube, you're nuts, man.
We're looking at you, Retro Wolf. No, I'm just kidding.
I just said, why? This game.
I don't understand. That's. I get that it's the only installment on the GameCube. I get that, but that doesn't extend.
Dude, if you told me the game was $25 on the GameCube because it was the only installment, I'd be like, oh, okay.
That makes sense. 200?
What does that do for it? It just has to be people wanting to complete their collection.
Yeah.
It has to be, because this makes no sense at all.
I think a lot more people go for complete GameCube than they do PS2 or Xbox. Because I think the library is smaller, I would assume, because there's a lot of shovelware out there. But even then,
I don't have the research to back this up, but this may be the largest discrepancy of a cross-platform game that is out there. This is bizarre. I would love to know if you know one in the comments. Let us know below. This blows my freaking mind.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
I don't get it at all. I'm flabbergasted by it.
This whole episode, games that are at least a 50% gap, that arguably and in most cases perform better on the OG Xbox. That nostalgia is fueling people's buying decisions, and they just want it on that Nintendo console. You know how Nintendo fans are. You can't tell them anything. They're hardcore. We're Nintendo fans. We're hardcore. We've even got some games on this list on the GameCube.
Yeah, we do.
Why? I don't know. Are we going to change it? Probably.
Not.
I don't know. It just is very curious to me.
It's very eye-opening. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated with the market on everything, and like cross-platform games, I feel like for the most part, if they're the same game, should be about the same price.
It's not how it is.
That's what fascinates me.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's bizarre.
Freaking weird, man.
We got another one of these kind of brewing. It's in the kettle. Looking at some PS2 action, comparing it as well
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
to the GameCube. Then we might have one where we compare the stuff to Xbox as well. We'll see how it
We'll
goes.
see how it goes.
But this was kind of fun.
This was really fun, and it's also like,
Eye-opening.
yeah, it's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
The GameCube is not as cool as I thought it was.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah, I love the GameCube.
By no means taking a shot, but I mean, you know, honestly, up until the last 3 years, Xbox was a console we didn't know a whole lot about. Don't know why. We just grew up with PS2s. My brother had a GameCube, so that was the next console I wanted because I was kind of nostalgic because of him. Xbox came into our lives, and we're like, wow. And nobody appreciates it.
What a powerhouse.
I mean, yeah, you could buy all these games on the Xbox in some cases for cheaper than one or two games on the GameCube.
Yeah, you could get all the games for the Xbox for less than the price of a basketball college game. From 2003! Name one college basketball player from 2003. Name one.
I mean, I don't know.
Exactly.
Marcus Pfizer. I don't know.
Mark Henry. It's just ridiculous.
We gotta put a bow on this thing, guys. But before you go opening your wallet saying, I need that GameCube game, make sure you look at the Xbox, maybe even look at the PS2. We're all about helping you collect video games in 2021 on the DL. And we gotta take some of our own advice on the things we talked about in this episode. Hopefully we were able to drop some knowledge bombs into your mind meat, so you can let it simmer and marinate, yeah, and you can make better buying decisions, because that's what it's all about. We'll see you next time. right here on Gaming Off the Grid. Cheers, everybody. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's
Let's tickle. Let's tickle you.
Should we give this a poke?
Whoa.
It's just really fucking good.
A lot of flavor.
Yeah. But as always, we appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we drop some knowledge bombs in your little brains.